and welcome to the No Filter Podcast. Ooh, 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 ooh. Y'all see, everybody thought that there was beef, but there ain't. We here, bitches. Blah. How's everybody doing?
Happy
Everybody,
Monday.
I'd have been
great.
better if you didn't do that weird ass intro.
That wasn't weird. Fuck you.
Jesus, that was harsh.
No, it was weird.
Fuck you too.
That was mean.
Fuck.
Mondays suck, but I'm good.
Thank you, Leela, for answering the question. How's everybody doing? Since these two assholes want to be difficult.
I
How you doing,
said I
Chef?
was doing good.
I ain't talking to you no more.
Word.
How you doing, Chef?
Who's the asshole? I
good.
said Happy Monday. It was nice.
Shush. How you doing, Chef?
I'm awesome.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's good to hear. So today we are going to set it off with a more meaningful topic. We about to go down the rabbit hole. Miss Leela, kick this shit off. Let's get funky with it.
So, in looking some of this stuff up, I realized how sticky it can get, I guess. But here we go. So, I am bringing up the topic of statute of limitations. Uh, just to give a quick definition, this is a law that sets the maximum amount of time that parties in a dispute have to initiate legal proceedings. It's the length of time allowed under a statute of limitations, and it varies depending upon the severity of the offense as well as the jurisdiction it is being disputed in. So I know that they vary from state to state, depending on, again, the severity of the crime. For example, in Texas, let's see. In Texas, for the following crimes, it's set at 5 years. It's theft or robbery, kidnapping or burglary, injury to elderly or disabled individuals that is not a felony, abandoning or endangering a child, and insurance fraud. Other felonies have a 3-year statute of limitations in place. Now, in criminal cases that involve a victim who was under 17 at the time the offense occurred, the criminal statute of limitations is 20 years from the victim's 18th birthday. So they have until 18, 20, so 38. From the civil court perspective, the statute of limitations in Texas for cases that involve a minor range from 10 to 20 years after the victim's 18th birthday. Offenses for which the statute of limitations is 20 years after the victim's 18th birthday, it includes sexual performance by a child, aggravated kidnapping, if committed with the intent of, or the intent to violate or sexually abuse a victim, burglary, if committed with the intent to sexually assault a child, commit the continuous assault of a child, or commit aggravated kidnapping. Now, in the case of rape, you cannot be charged with sexual assault or aggravated assault if the alleged attack occurred more than 10 years ago. So, what do you guys think? Do you think there should be a limit on these laws? Or do you think they should stand in place? I'm going to start with Vinny.
Why me?
Because you got a giraffe.
Okay.
Because you're all the way to the right. I just scrolled right on my screen.
Right. Well, I'll have to allow it this time. I don't think the statute of limitations should be a thing when it involves a real crime where there is a victim.
Period.
And I really, huh?
Period. Like regardless of the severity.
It doesn't matter. If there's a victim of a crime, that crime should always be able to be prosecuted. Because if there is a victim, it is violence or sexual assault or something to that effect. Now, if it's stolen property, no, that's not real. That's not a real thing. However, I honestly believe within my soul that if there is a victim of a crime that doesn't involve property damage or property loss, then there should not be a statute of limitations. For instance, rape, child endangerment, child abuse, any kind of assault and battery, anything like that, there should absolutely be no statute of limitations, and you should be able to be prosecuted for the rest of your life just because all of that shit is completely inappropriate, and it is not okay to harm people in any way. Unless you're D. Sorry, I had to do it.
Shell?
She wasn't paying attention.
Shell? Shelly?
Shut up. I
Shell?
am paying attention. I have my thing on mute. I agree with Vinny. I believe, especially, yeah, I agree with him. Anything sexual assault, especially to children, is just, I don't know. I just feel like it's one of the worst things that you could do. So I think that whenever you're caught is when you should be prosecuted. I don't care if it happened when you was 30 and you 90. You need to spend them last couple days behind bars. So I definitely agree with any petty crimes. I mean, them petty crimes like fraud and theft. If you don't catch somebody within a year, you need to just leave that alone. It's not even worth the time or resources. But
Amen,
anything,
hallelujah.
huh?
I said, amen, hallelujah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But things that involve victims, those are the things we should be focused on, and those should have no statute of limitations.
Mook?
About to jump out the window. I can hear it in his voice.
I'm not gonna jump all the way out the window.
You got okay, so you're not gonna kick any walls down. You're just gonna kind of sneak on through.
I'm gonna put my foot out the window. I'm just gonna slightly put my foot out. I think there should be man. Because y'all made some good points, you know. Like I'm a pro advocate for children. I think, like, you know, when you harm a child, I think they're, you know, like you should be prosecuted all the way until we find your ass. But I think other things, like if you can't catch me, that's your fault. Like that's your job, is to catch me. Like, and if you can't catch me, that's your fault. Like that's the whole point of it. It's like, if I murder somebody and you're like, oh my God, who did it? And I'm fucking 90 years old and you be like, oh, you did it. What? What the fuck you gonna send me to jail for? I've lived my life. It's too late. Fuck it.
Well, there's no limit on murder.
There's
no
not.
limit on,
there should be.
No.
There should be.
There's no limit on.
There should always be. There should be a limit on murder. It should go accordingly. Like, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Shit's weird. I hate law. If I get away with it, let me get away with it.
Amen.
Let me get away with it. I made it. I beat the system.
I'm gonna agree with you, except I gotta put the caveat in there about what I believe about no statute of limitations on a violent crime.
Why would you murder somebody? Unless it's self-defense. Why would murdering somebody is justified? Right. You need to do your time. It doesn't matter how long it took them to catch you. When you do get caught, it doesn't matter how long it took them to catch you.
So if I'm 90 years old, you want me to go to jail for a murder that I did?
Okay, so think about it. Think about it in a situation of if someone murdered your mom. and they wasn't found until they were 90, would you give them a pass? You
Well,
never getting your mom back.
Thank you. Exactly.
Wouldn't
So
you
me
want them to
putting him,
pay the consequences?
he lived his life. My mom is dead.
Mm.
What does that do? So I'm gonna watch this 90-year-old man go to jail and die. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'll just say it to make it make sense. Because if I send you to jail in your 90s, if you're not caught when my mother is killed, there's no justice anyway. I'm already dead on the inside. You killed my mom. I'm dead. There's nothing you can say or do. Not even me killing you. It will give me some, I mean, I will not take that back. It will give me a lot of satisfaction. However, it doesn't change nothing. I don't know.
So, you know, sometimes I agree with that point. Just because I feel like it's not enough for them to suffer in prison, because sometimes they don't.
Because yeah, they
suffer
could,
enough.
they like if you're 90 years old, you're going to jail, man. You're not going to no real jail. You're going to like one of them nursing home jails where you just eating tapioca and taking medicine until you die. That's weird. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Not tapioca. I'm
I'm just saying.
Tapioca.
I'm just saying.
like
Like,
you had to call. You didn't say pudding. Nah, you had to say tapioca.
because that's how old people eat is tapioca.
No, they eat butterscotch pudding because it tastes like Werther's and they love it.
Oh, Mook loves butterscotch.
Hey, don't you got an answer? Go ahead, give your answer.
All right,
Let's move on from this. Move on from this weirdness.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the extension of any statute of limitations if it doesn't regard a child. That the federal statute of limitations is 5 years across the board, and in special cases like murder and things of this nature, then they extend it. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not going to be a fan of that ever. Now, if you're a child and you suffer some atrocity, and then you have the wherewithal to want to press charges when you're 20, you're in therapy now, some shit comes up, then yeah, go for it. But I think in the case of a child, by the time they're fucking 30, if they haven't pressed charges, that shit got to be let go. Period. I don't care what happens. Whoever wants to question me about the law part of it, feel free.
No, we're good.
Right. I don't believe in the justice system as a whole because of the way punishment is divvied out. So I have zero.
Give your thoughts.
I have zero faith in the law in and of itself.
Right.
So with the proper amount of money, they can win.
Right.
If I feel like you have wronged me or my child or someone I love, the law is going to be the last thing you need to worry about. So I don't want you to go to jail because we finna do this.
Now, do you think that the statute of limitations sways when it comes to race?
I do not believe if something happens and you are an adult, if you are above the age of 18, I feel like the statute of limitations, the federal statute of 5 years is more than enough time for you to come to grips and decide if you want to be ran through the mud or if you want to pursue criminal proceedings against someone else or civilly go after them. Period. Because I'm not going to sit here and be like, one rape is worse than another rape. One murder is worse than rape. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not making any distinction. And because I refuse to make a distinction, because we do not all possess the same morality, federally, across the board, 5 years to me is sufficient time to file a suit, unless you were a child. If you were a child, if you were under the age of 16, because 16 is the age of consent for most states, you have until you were 30. So you're given an extra 14 years if the shit happened as a kid. You come up with the idea, you remember it, you suppressed it, the shit was traumatizing, you in therapy now, shit coming back to you, press charges, good to go. However, if you were an adult and some shit happened, you got 5 fucking years. If you wait till 5 years in one day, the shit wasn't fucking with you enough, you let it the fuck go.
But in all cases, it's not that the person didn't press charges. Sometimes it's that they can't catch who it is.
That's not what the statute of limitations is. The statute of limitations means you have until a particular date to press charges. You can go to the court, and if you press charges, that person can be on the run for 15 years. But you as the victim, there is a statute of limitations. From the time whatever happened to you, you have 5 years to decide if you want to press charges. That's what the statute of limitations is. Yeah, that has nothing to do with being caught. So within 3 years, you decide, you know what? I don't like how that shit went. I'm pressing charges. Good on you. For 15 years, he could be on the run. When he's caught, then you deal with the situation because you have pressed charges and he has been a wanted fugitive from the law for that long. But if you wait for 15 years to press some charges on somebody, I'm saying the culture has changed. A la Bill Cosby.
Excuse me. May I interject?
What?
Well,
I
I
believe
think the thing with Bill Cosby was absurd. But anyway, I mean,
Yes,
I do think
that is how the laws applied, and that's kind of my point. What's up, Luke? What's up, Vinny? What you said? Can you interject?
I was going to say that it's important to point out, and I think it was because it sounded like Shell had a question about it, and I don't think she knows this. So I'm going to say that when you have a criminal act and the state presses charges, and it's not a person-to-person thing, then that's when the statute of limitations is expired. You follow me? Like if the state presses charges 2 years after you do something, that's considered within the statute of limitations.
If the state picks it up, we're not even talking about the state. The state gonna do what they want to do. I'm saying as the individual, whatever the fuck occurs, if you are an adult, if you were 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, you like, okay, I'm not sure how I feel about what happened. 3 years later, you have an understanding that the shit was fucked up and it was wrong. Press charges. But I'll be damned if you get to wait until the culture changes. That doesn't work for me. I'm never going to be okay with that. If you personally have, what's up?
Expand on that. What do you mean when the
So,
culture
like,
changes? You mean just like socially or?
Yes, socially. So the culture, like, so let's talk about like the culture shifting, right?
So like hashtag me too.
Pretty much that is a problem for me. So
yeah,
like the culture has shifted. We understand the culture shifted. It was a necessary shift. However, the things that were commonplace 30 years ago that everyone agreed to, it's now being prosecuted like the shit happened today. That's a problem. That is not okay. When we know, because we are adults, we were aware it was nothing to see the 9th grade girl with the dude who graduated 2 years before. That was commonplace. That like you knew when you was in high school, you probably wasn't getting no pussy because even the freshman was fucking niggas out of school. That did not happen for all of us, but for quite a few motherfuckers it did. It was not that hard of a concept. Now think, if she's in the 9th grade, she's probably 14 years old. If he graduated 2 years ago, he's 20. They will throw you under the bus for that shit right now. But you can't tell me that right now, if that girl who, like you're saying, like no statute of limitations. So that 14-year-old girl who had the wherewithal to want to date the drug dealer who had been out of high school has a right to press charges 30 years when they're 30? Oh, fuck no. Fuck no.
That's a different concept.
No, it's not. And that's how the
that's-
law is applied. It's
okay.
not.
You're right. You're right. However, I'm just saying I don't agree with.
He ran her off.
No, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I don't agree with that concept at all. Because you're right. When it was a lot of girls in high school, 9th grade, 10th grade with 19, 20-year-old dudes. They knew how old the guys were. They knew what they were doing. It was consensual, although the legal consensual age is 16, it was consensual. So if you decide when you're 30 to want to file press charges on this guy for having sex with an underage child, you're wrong for that. You knew what you were doing. You wasn't coerced. You weren't
based on what y'all have
you
all
weren't any of
already
that.
based on what y'all have all already stated, the law it can't be distinguished individually. So the law would be applicable in that case. That is why I disagree.
Basically a blanket.
Right. Like that's the problem with the law. We talk about the law in the sense that we go to particular extreme cases that we know are porn, like horrific cases to describe something. But the reality of the situation is the law suffers from cultural lag because the culture has shifted. Once upon a time, everybody didn't have cell phones. So in Pennsylvania, fucking about 10 years ago, when cell phones really hit the scene, a little boy and a little girl are sending each other fucking sex messages. They have literally went against the FCC code. They have exchanged pornographic material over the cellular signal. They're both considered fucking sexual predators now. But they're 16 and 17 sending each other dick and titty pics. That's a problem. And if the law can't be fixed in real time, the shit should not be applied to old school shit, definitely. That's not going to work. Now, if I have a problem with you, then I'm going to come see you about whatever the fuck you did to me and mine. I don't need the law because I understand the law is fucked up and the law is a problem. But I'm never going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, there should be no statute of limitations on sexual assault because how we define sexual assault has shifted so dramatically over the last 20 fucking years.
It really has. I have a friend that, so when I was in middle school, 8th grade, we were 13, 14, and her boyfriend would come pick her up. The dude was 24 years old.
Exactly.
And then like, we don't, I knew it was like fucking weird, but as I got older and I saw especially how the relationship was with them, I just thought to myself, this dude is a total Chester. Like he snatched snatched her up. But how much of it is consent and how much of it is abuse,
Well, I'm more on and that's why I talk about the cultural change.
Right. And especially for Hispanics. Like for Hispanics, it's freaking weird. I mean, you have young women with these old motherfuckers, or at least dudes that are, above age, and it's permissible sometimes. I think it's a problem.
But think about this. Back in the day with our great grandparents, you were getting married at 14 to a grown ass man. That's the way the shit used to go. So even in our times when we were that age, it evolved a little bit more. But I mean, literally back in the day, at 14, you had a husband and started bearing children.
No, I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far back.
I'm not saying whether it was right or wrong. What I'm saying is that
you don't have to.
what I'm
You can go
saying
back.
is that
You can go back 20 years and it's the same. It's the same shit.
well,
I'm saying,
it changed
20
a little bit from then,
it,
from
it, it
back then
hasn't it
to
hasn't it
in
hasn't
our era.
changed at all. No, that's not true. It hasn't changed. Our perception has changed. The
Correct.
actual right. So the practice hasn't changed. So basically, when you say no statute of limitations, what you're saying is now we are all adults. We have all lived with whatever has occurred to us. We were part of it, willingly, coerced, whatever. Some shit happened 20 years ago. You dated the dude who was out of high school 2 years and you were the freshman. And now that the culture has changed, you're saying it's permissible to charge him as a sexual predator if there's no limit on the statute. No, hell no. No, 5 years. Fuck that. That's ridiculous. Just because the law can be applied erroneously to so many more people than the extreme situations y'all are referring to. Because more people would be negatively impacted, I'm against that whole concept. That's fuck no. And I'm with Mookie, but I'm just different when it comes to the murder thing. Like, no, if you get away with it, you get away with it. If you get tracked down, the cuz had a son, a homie, little brother, whatever, somebody coming for you. And you're gonna wake up one day and them motherfuckers gonna be in your living room with you, and you're gonna pay the piper. That's how I feel about that. But once again, that's dictated by the environment that I come from. So I'm not necessarily all about the law, because the law is applied erratically at best to minorities and people of color across the board. Like, so hell no.
Right.
Yeah, they would bang us regularly. Like, that's
Right.
ridiculous. Like, I would never agree. Fuck no. No, statute of limitations, 5 fucking years. The federal statute of limitations is 5 years. That's what it needs to stick with. This whole getting away with murder, if you got enough money, you can beat it. How many of us have enough money to beat it? Not that many. So you lived your life and now you become a pillar of the community. You're gonna beat that. Because look, I've paid attrition, I've done all of this and this. But if I'm regular Joe Schmo, which is more likely coming from the communities we come from, I got a murder beef 20 years ago. When I was a kid, we shooting at each other doing what the fuck we was doing. And now we gonna charge me? Like, motherfucker, no, I got kids and grandkids. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. You're not charging me with that. That's fuck no. That's ridiculous. Like, no, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with you getting away with murder, but I don't think the state is in the moral position to judge who did what. If your family wants some get back, they deserve some get back, and then we just gonna keep going back around. But I don't think the state is in a position to do shit. Like, hell no. That's ridiculous. Like, how many more? We're literally in a time right now, we're watching person after person after person be exonerated for crimes that they were forcibly made to confess to.
Right.
They're getting out of jail right now. So the system is that fucked up. And y'all want to put more faith in the system and extend the statute of limitations? Hell no. I'm not with that. I'm always going to argue against that. Like, that don't work for me at all.
That's a good point.
It plays right into mine, to be honest with you. Like, my thing or my idea is I don't want there to be a statute of limitations on violent crime, on anything that is a crime against a human being that has to do with somebody actually being a victim and being hurt.
That's a moral. This is my problem with your moral argument, and it's a moral argument.
I'd like to finish it.
But you've already stated your position. This is my problem with your moral argument. The reality is, where you may say something is victimless, the victim doesn't feel that way when they've been robbed of $10,000. So when you say you think it should be like, so murder or SA, holds more importance or more weight or more relevance in your mind. So you believe that the state should possess the moral authority to say a murder happened in defense of oneself. We are shooting at each other as children, 16, 17 years old. I got away with it. You think that should still can be prosecuted. But if somebody bangs my mom for 20 stacks, that's okay? That my argument is why that's why it is what it is across the board. 5 years, federal statute of limitations, keep it pushing. It's like, because when you start to break down the nuances of the argument, you're going to always bump into more harm than good. The state has consistently done more harm than good. Why should we give them and grant them more power and authority if they fucking abuse the shit we already gave them? Zero faith in them. Zero. The law has never been applied evenly across the board. They've erroneously locked people up for 20 to 30 years of their life. And when you got more money, you get off. The same crime that I can be charged with 5, 10 years down the line, same crime Johnny can be charged with 5, 10 years down the line. But because Johnny's pops was a lawyer, he's going to get the fuck off because that lawyer who was his dad is rubbing elbows with the judge. And they said, oh, he's a pillar of the community now. What he did when he was 17 years old shouldn't count against him. Fuck no. Fuck no. And that's in the newspaper every day. Like, so if that's in the newspaper every day, no, they can't. No, you can't come to me 15 years down the line and say I did something. Fuck that. I'm done. I got away with it. Now, if you want to send your people to come see me, send them. But we're not sending the law. So no, it does not connect, Vinny. You are not. We are not on. We are on opposite ends of the spectrum because there absolutely needs to be a statute of limitations on every crime because my morality is not your morality, and because that's how the law is applied, you don't get to judge me because you think something I did was morally bankrupt when I may not feel that way. I feel like if I'm 16, 17 years old and the motherfucker down the street is shooting at me and I get one off on him, I'm free if I don't get caught in real time. If they don't catch me within the first 5 years, I'm the fuck out of here with my shit. You ain't wrapping me up 20 years down the line. Fuck no. Hell no. That motherfucker was shooting at me. And now we can't even prove that. Like, I can't even have the conversation in court and give myself an adequate defense because it's 15, 20 years later. And I've forgotten shit. I've done so much more shit with my life that the moment I try to fucking recount exactly what happened, my story sounds inconsistent. Fuck no, you're not taking me to court 15 years later. You crazy as hell. Like, fuck no. So D is against this. I'm all for the statute of limitations. I'm against getting rid of it, period, across the board. 5 years is what the federal government says, and that should be it across the board, except for in the case of minor children. Under 16, under the age of consent, and not the state, because there are certain states that the age of consent is still 16. So if I move and now the federal age of consent is 18 where I filed it, I get to file. No, see all of that wishy-washy shit, I ain't got time for that. Nope. If you 16 or under, cool. You got till you 30 to get your shit off. If you above the age of 16, you got fucking 5 years. You know right from wrong. You know what you want to deal with. You know if you wanted it to happen. You'll figure it out. Press charges or don't.
I feel like people sometimes later on in life have the courage to actually stand up to their predator. And sometimes I feel like for that reason, it should be extended. I mean, I get what you're saying, but as far as, you know, just cases that I've read or people that I know about, I feel like people sometimes don't come into their own and don't disassociate their fault. Well, they think they're at fault, I should say. And it takes them sometimes until they're in their 50s or 60s to realize, oh shit, this wasn't my fault at all. And, you know, is it valid then to say something or to press charges? Or do you just go on with your life and heal?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna be a proponent of going on with your life and healing. And if you want some revenge, get you some people, because to change the law means the law will be applied to infinitely more people aggressively and erroneously than that one extreme case. And that's my problem. That will always be my problem.
The inconsistency of it all.
Bingo. Don't nobody say nothing important, because we got less than a minute. And then we're gonna have to come back. Look, you're awfully quiet, sir. You look like you're pondering the world.
All my law is from Law and Order SVU recording. That's
You know
what
what?
I'm saying to that.
I hope you show up. Look at you, so goddamn petty, bro.
Trust and believe.
Look, first and foremost, both of y'all not gonna come for me. That's what's not gonna happen. Okay.
You're the one that started.
According to who?
Me, Dopper.
But you have any proof that I did anything, sir?
Yes, Dopper.
Dopper, really?
Yeah, Duke of Petty.
Why am I the Duke of Petty?
Because I'm the king, bitch.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Oh man, no, that's great.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Let's see. Vinny said 3 minutes, right? Was that 3 minutes? Nope, that was like 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Yeah, people. Vinny did not storm off the show. I just want y'all to know he's coming back. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
He should be coming back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I feel the way I feel about Lisa. And I understand exactly what you're saying. The issue is
no, and I get it, because it is inconsistent, and I don't think everyone should be treated with the same rule all around. Every case is different.
Yeah, like the problem with the real problem with the law, besides the inconsistency of how it's applied, is really like when you start talking about like sentencing and going in front of a judge. Like at the end of the day, you go in front of the 60-year-old judge who already has his preconceived notion about me, for instance. Like I go in front of the 60-year-old judge, right? So he's gonna bang it out the park. He's maxing me out across the board. He is not playing. Versus somebody who goes in front of the 25-year-old judge who's progressive, then learned a bunch of new shit. And it's like, okay, cool. I understand this. I grew up during this time. So this is applicable in this way. Well, that inconsistency becomes problematic in how the law is applied. So to eliminate that, no, 5 years. Because that's any other way, you're gonna bump into the problem that we've constantly bumped into throughout our lifetimes. We're watching the law be applied to one person one way, another person another way, and they've done the identical crime. And you watch one person go to jail for 20-something years and another person get fucking probation. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as that's a problem, you can't start shifting the statute of limitations. Like if the law's fucked up now, imagine how more fucked up it'll be if they start saying, hey, all of them little 14-year-old chicks who felt like they were super special because they was tricking off with the drug dealer dude driving around in his car, getting spoiled, coming to school with the purses and the big ass bamboo earrings. Now they get to start pressing charges? Nah, fuck no. You was benefiting, bitch. What are you talking about? You was happy. You was holding this nigga gun. You was holding his drugs for him. You was fucking watching his fucking kids for his other baby mama. Y'all was getting into it. Now all of a sudden, because the law says 20 years from now you can file charges, I'm having a moment, and I feel like I was being coerced. The fuck? Hell no. Hell no.
Do you think every
just,
case?
you
Do you
can just
think
be upset. Like that, you might have seen me and I didn't speak, and now you about to jump out the window and charge me. I forgot who you were. Like you walked up on me. You remember me? No, bitch, I don't remember you. And now you about to bang me in court? I don't think so. That's not okay.
I mean, I can see that happening.
I mean, I said, that's a real thing.
Yeah, no, I believe that. And but do you think every case is like that? Do you think
No,
every
I don't think every case is like that. I think the cases that you are specifically referring to, I think those people, the moment it is recognized that they have had an issue, and that's why I say it, like, if you're under 16, then you should have until you are 30. You get into counseling, you get some support, and then you have a better understanding of exactly what happened to you, cool. But if you are fucking 16 years old, you pretty much know what's going on. There are motherfuckers who committed crimes when they were 16-year-old, and they are still in jail, and that was in the 90s. That's ridiculous. So if those people have to sit, understand how the law is actually going to be applied. Because that's ridiculous.
So here's the thing about even with the situation of what you're saying, if you're 14 and now you're 25 and you feeling some type of way about being molested or raped or whatever, and you decide 10 years later to press charges, the issue now becomes, is there any supporting evidence to even find this person guilty?
There doesn't
Or
have
are
to
you
be
just,
supporting evidence.
it does, because the goal is to get the person prosecuted.
There doesn't have to be any supporting evidence. That's false.
No, I'm not saying that it has to be. I'm saying as the victim, this is what you should ask yourself. I'm not saying it has to be any evidence. At the end of the day, you could press charges with no evidence, but when it goes to court, as the victim, you should ask yourself, is there any supporting evidence to find this person guilty, or am I just further traumatizing myself and this person gets off? Because just because you file charges within the statute of limitations does not mean the person is going to be found guilty.
Okay, here's my issue with your stance right now. You're talking about the supposed victim. I don't give a fuck about who did what personally, because it wasn't me. The law, however, is going to vilify the person being accused. And if said evidence does not add up, the retraction is never going to be as loud as the fucking claim. And that man's life is ruined, or that woman's life is ruined. And that's a problem as well. I'm not going to play that game. The statute of limitations shifting and becoming carte blanche across the board is a problem for a wide array of reasons when you really think about it. If a woman who's 20-something years old, she say she's 22, she meets some young dude, he's 17, he lay it down, it's all great, right? And then he gets older, he's 30 now, he want to press charges, she got kids, she got grandkids, all this other shit. The way you're saying it is, he's having the wherewithal, he's making the claim, even if there's no physical evidence. She may even agree to they had a consensual relationship, but based on how the law actually reads, she will be guilty the moment she says they actually had a relationship. Fuck no. The law needs to stay up. Get the fuck out of my business and be the law. Go law over there. Because that shit is ridiculous.
Like all these teachers with students.
Bingo. And but see, and that right there, that's an interesting one, because the student teacher thing is not simply based on age. It's based on a power dynamic, because the teacher is in a position of authority, and that is where the charges stem from. It's not solely based on age, because you can have the 19-year-old high school student fuck the 21-year-old teacher, and she's still getting charged because he's a fucking student.
Right.
So we're not talking about that. That there are things in place to stop that. But the carte blanche ability to just apply the law in general 20 years later, the culture shifted. Our mindsets have changed. Different people are in charge that believe in different things. Hell no. You can't come back and say 15 years and say, look, I dated this motherfucker when we was in high school. He was fucking 7 years older than me. And now I want to press charges. Okay, cool. Charges are pressed. His name is in the paper. His name's getting ran through the mud. Come to find out, it was an actual consensual relationship. She had the wherewithal, the whole shebang. The judge says, hell no, this is bogus. His life is over because them charges in that trial is going to ruin his fucking life. I'm not okay with that. I'm not fucking okay with that. Because some malicious bitch could literally say, I don't like how he treated me. So this is what I'm going to do in retaliation. A la Bill Cosby. I'm not here to defend Bill. What I am here to do is say, at the end of the day, in the 80s, in the 70s, we watched movies about the shit. We've heard the stories. We've seen the aunts and uncles. Them motherfuckers was getting big high, period.
Mhm.
They was indiscriminately fucking one another. That was after the age of love in the 60s. Fucking Woodstock bitches, titties out, they fucking each other, the whole shebang. That shit led right into the 70s and right into the fucking 80s. We all know that. So you're telling me you come to my hotel room at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know what this is all about. You know we all like to get high. And now, 30 years later, you're saying you were coerced. You've lost your fucking mind. That is fucking ridiculous. We sitting here doing coke on each other's. You're snorting coke off my dick.
I do it. Fuck.
Like that's it, bruh. You're snorting coke off my dick. I'm taking shots out of your belly button. We fuck. But 30 years later, you're saying I did something to you against your will? Fuck no.
I tried to stop it, guys. I knew it was coming. I tried to stop it.
No, I agree with that.
Well, he
I
said
do
belly
agree
button.
with that.
He said belly button. I was gonna say asshole.
But I agree with that. I definitely agree. And I also feel the way about, I don't know how some people gonna feel, but you know, about the R. Kelly situation. If anybody to me should have been charged, it's the parents who allow their children to go with R. Kelly.
Agreed.
He didn't snatch up bitches and kidnap them.
His ass still needs to
Y'all-
be in jail. Yeah, I don't
For
give a
what?
fuck.
For what?
He still had.
Well,
How many?
okay.
No, this is just what we said. How many grown ass men wasn't fucking bitches you went to high school with? That was their boyfriends.
Okay.
These bitches, they
R.
were
Kelly is
benefiting.
famous.
It doesn't. That's why they were benefiting.
I'm
They were
gonna-
trying to get record deals. Their parents was selling them
I'm gonna
to
just
this
say,
man.
right,
Their
R.
parents should
Kelly-
be charged for child
Listen,
endangerment.
R. Kelly should be in jail because I believe R. Kelly, if given the opportunity, once he gets out, will make phenomenal music about the horrible experience that he is currently having.
You're
And
done.
that's all I really care about because I don't know him.
You're done.
Oh my God! Stop.
D want to hear some more. He want to hear some more good music.
God.
You know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be
He
just
should-
like this.
He should have been in
Bubba.
jail.
No, we're not doing that, Vinny. Stop.
He should. His ass need to be in jail. Just
No. Listen. To Shell's point, right? Let's keep it a buck. Number one, they said Kells is slow to begin with, right? He does not have the mental capacity of us as adults. This is just a fact. So him having a proclivity to like younger chicks, that's one thing. None of those chicks, except for the shorty he pissed on, was underage. All of those chicks was above the legal age of consent. They just didn't like how the shit went when the parents was like, yo, do this, and do it. So aside from Aaliyah and the shorty he pissed on, we can't say he did nothing under the board, right? Like everything was above board. R. Kelly did. They just didn't like the way he did it. I seen the tape. I'm not gonna lie. Shorty who got pissed on. Listen, I'm telling you right now, that wasn't the first time she got pissed on, and that wasn't the first time she was fucking on tape. I know that. I seen the tape. There's no
She was
fucking way.
too comfortable.
There's no fucking way. So, however, the way the law is written, he was wrong. He should go to jail for that. But once he comes out, he should make phenomenal music. He should not be in jail forever. That's what I'm saying. Now, in the reverse, we all are old enough to remember Bow Wow was a child jumping on the bed in the Snoop video and then started creating music. Do you think the bitches that were in those videos didn't suck Bow Wow's dick?
Shit.
Exactly.
That
So if Bow Wow comes out right now and says the 70 different bitches from the 20 videos I shot when I was under the age of fucking 16, they all traumatized me and I want to press charges. That would fucking be ludicrous. That would literally be fucking crazy. We seen them grown ass women throwing their panties at a 14-year-old. We watched it in real time. All of us are
But it
old
was
enough to remember
nothing.
Bow
It
Wow.
was nothing wrong with that. But it's something wrong with R. Kelly.
No, I didn't say
fucking a
nothing wrong with R. Kelly.
14-year-old.
Listen,
No, I'm
I
saying
didn't say that
according
was
to the
wrong.
way.
Hold the hell
Wait,
on.
wait, wait.
Hold the hell
According
on.
to
No,
the way.
no. How is it any different?
No, I
How-
didn't even get to finish what I was saying before
Well,
y'all
I don't
started
ever get to
attacking
finish
my
what I'm saying.
comment. What I'm saying is, how is it wrong that R. Kelly fucked a 14-year-old girl and peed on her, or whatever the fuck they did with their sexual fetishes? Because it doesn't matter what they did in the bedroom. The fact is, he fucked her because she peed on her. Don't make it any fucking worse. What the fuck? So. But Bow Wow, these grown ass video vixens was fucking his little 14-year-old ass. And the world did not look at that like, oh my God, this is wrong. But when the man fucked the 14-year-old girl, he's a pedophile, he's this, he's that.
How do you know?
It's the same shit.
How do you know the girls fuck Lil Bow Wow?
Because I want to piss on you, drip, drip, drip.
How do you know those women fuck Bow
Oh
Wow?
my God.
I'm ignoring him. How do you know those women fuck
Extra.
Bow Wow?
Speculation.
I'm asking.
Okay, listen.
Speculation.
Listen. I'm not gonna say I'm speculating. What I'm gonna say is, during that time, he's running around as the protege heir apparent to Snoop Dogg with
He can have
Jermaine
anybody.
Dupri in Atlanta during Freaknik.
Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying none of that.
Right.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but we all saw R. Kelly piss on a girl.
We didn't all
Why
see
are
it.
we concerned with him pissing on her? That doesn't
Because
matter.
you
They peed on her.
because at the end
What
of the day,
matters is that he-
your argument was otherwise. You can get loud too. Jesus.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
Oh my God.
Well, this just got out of control.
Jesus Christ. Get out.
Hey, dinosaur. Hey,
Get your big ass-
dinosaur.
Get your big ass down. Get down.
Go back
Get
to
down.
jurisdiction for rock.
Shut up. Fuck you. Fuck you. Leave my dog alone.
Dinosaur. Wow.
Get your fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Leave my dog alone.
Dinosaur. Wow.
I'm telling you to shut the fuck up.
Dude, your T-Rex was worried about you growling.
No. Oh my God.
That was excellent, actually, if I'm being honest.
Oh my god.
I just wish I didn't have my earpods and that hurt.
Dude, your T-Rex ran up to you like, "Are you okay?"
So okay, so what about the MJ case?
Are we referring to Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Man, I don't think Michael Jackson ever did. Listen. Only
because of the topic at hand. Not
No,
because
I'm
of
with you.
anything else.
Let me make this
But-
my official stance.
But I'm
public-
okay.
Oh
I'm
my
okay
God.
for it
Can
to
we
be-
take turns?
I'm okay for it to be opened up to whatever conversation it's gonna lead to.
Well, I don't know where this is going, but I'm just stating my official Michael Jackson stance. I'm gonna crack all the jokes in the world another time. Michael Jackson was a child prodigy and an absolute star. He never had the ability to develop in any way, shape, or form. If he did do something, he did it in the innocence of children experimenting. However, I don't believe he did anything to anyone because that does not seem like a motherfucker with a monkey and a roller coaster ain't really thinking about popping kids.
I think
He's
the
a
crime
fucking
was
child himself.
yeah. I think he was a victim to all of it. I mean, because
Exactly.
didn't his dad take him to like make him like fuck chicks and strippers or hookers or whatever? Like,
I'm not gonna sit here and talk bad about Papa Joe because Papa Joe's methods made them motherfuckers who they were, and they are millionaires, and their children's children will never want for nothing. So I'm not going down that road.
So you think the trauma that he placed on his children was worth it because they're rich?
I'm not saying because they're rich. I'm saying because they're comfortable, and their children's children will never experience poverty, ever.
So because they're rich?
No. They're not rich. They will never experience poverty. They will. Different. They have zero idea of what it is to not be able to live your dream.
Not to want.
Right. It is a want that we all wish we could have. So I'm not going to judge Papa Joe's methods. I don't agree with them, but I'm not going to judge them because clearly the results speak for themselves. What I'm talking about is solely Mike. Based on Michael Jackson's personality, I will never believe anyone who says that he touched me. No, he didn't. You a fucking lie. He was probably scared to touch his own fucking dick. There's no fucking way.
If he had one.
Exactly. Like that motherfucking man was different in a way that, like, when you think about who he was as a person, I don't believe that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I know they say he was chemically castrated. So, I mean, I don't.
Right. I don't believe none of that shit. I don't think Michael Jackson did shit to no. I don't think them fucking kids that he got is his. I don't believe Michael Jackson touched anybody ever.
No, I don't.
To include himself.
Wait, so
that motherfucker got a whole song he sang to a rat.
Let Mookie talk because I don't want my eardrums to be busted.
Fuck you.
Tell him about Ben, Mookie.
First off, we're not gonna talk about like Ben wasn't the shit. Okay.
Ben is the shit.
Ben was hot fire. I didn't know he was talking to a rat when he was singing it though. That was my fuck up. So are we saying so you're saying that Michael Jackson never had sex?
I'm saying that when he was forcibly made to engage in sexual activity by his father, it traumatized him in such a way that when he became an actual adult, he had zero interest in re-experiencing the trauma. So he built a place that was like a child's place, like Peter Pan, and literally lived out his dreams with other children because he never got to be one.
But it was stripped from him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he never had sex. Joe Jackson did what Joe Jackson did. I'm not here to judge that. But I do believe that by the time he had the wherewithal to take his career into his own hands and no longer answer to Joe and his brothers, he literally disassociated with them. The only time we seen him after that with his family was the Pepsi commercial when his hair caught on fire, which was the Victory Tour, and when they did special events. This man owned a ranch, and none of his family live in close proximity. He chose to be around children because of their innocence, because of what he was forcibly made to experience. I do not believe he touched anyone.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't think
that's
he did
what I'm
anything.
saying. Now,
I was more
let it be
on the
known,
kids.
whoever hears this, when we have the conversation in real life, I'm telling jokes.
Oh my God.
But my public stance needs to be stated officially. I don't think Mike did nothing to nobody. Ever. Like him, I think things were done to him, but I don't think he did shit to nobody.
Again, I don't believe he did anything to anybody myself. However, if he did, again, that's on the parents. You sent your child away with a grown-ass man just because he was a star and you don't even fucking know him.
Well, and
So
a lot of
if
these
Excuse
a
me.
lot of these parents were actually around like all the time. So for them not to
lived in the
for them
house.
not to right, for them not to notice or for you not to notice a change in your child, you know, if something did happen, yeah, you're right. It's on the parent.
I mean, I just can't even again.
Mhm.
Everybody when people talk about the R. Kelly thing, it's always he peed on a girl. Who fucking cares that he peed on her? Those are sexual fetishes. If she was an adult and he peed on her, would it be any more or less disrespectful, however y'all perceive it? That's what the fuck they like to do. The fact is, he fucked a minor, but it was consensual. Period. So again, it was a lot of us in high school getting fucked by a grown ass man,
Not me.
and we were and benefiting from it in whatever, like D said, benefiting from it in any type of way. Nigga buying you Jordans, pick you up from school in a dope ass car, getting your hair done, nails done, doing this, doing that. It wasn't a problem, but because it was R. Kelly, he's a pedophile. No, these parents allowed it. I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is that in the case of Michael Jackson and or R. Kelly, if you allowed your child to be in a grown ass man's care that you don't even fucking know, come on, why? Who D, I'm pretty sure you would not let your 17-year-old daughter get on the stage with R. Kelly.
Actually, I wouldn't have a problem with it because I fucked R. Kelly up.
I'm just
Like,
saying, like,
I'm gonna keep it a stat. I see.
for him to, you're
I'm
not going
not
to be
going to
okay with that.
require the law. Like at the end of the day, if I bump into a motherfucker like R. Kelly and R. Kelly says, "Hey, I got an opportunity for your child," number one, I'm gonna have the wherewithal to always be cognizant of what the fuck is going on with my child. So that's just not gonna happen on my watch. Number two, if you decide you want to go down that route, the law is the last thing you got to worry about because I'm going to do something to you that you're not going to be okay about. When you look in the mirror, you're always going to remember who was there.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I'm a mother, and I'm not letting my 17-year-old daughter go on stage with R. Kelly. When you let her go on stage with R. Kelly, he don't know how old she is. She's a woman getting on stage for him to grind on and dance on and do all of these sexual acts and moves with clothes on. And then she get backstage and now she's 17. Well, what the fuck you let her come up here for? Because at that point you can't be mad at him, D. Even if you let your 17-year-old daughter go on, he pick her out the audience and you say, "Go ahead, that's R. Kelly," and he humping on her and grinding on. Because I done been to R. Kelly concerts and see
slow
this
down,
shit.
slow down. You screaming and hollering, but you don't have to because nobody's competing with you.
I'm not screaming. I'm just saying again. I don't think he should be in jail for this shit. I believe this is on the parents. I don't believe that he tortured these girls or any of that shit. I believe that women can be vindictive and evil just like men can be evil and hateful and heartless or whatever the case may be. And I believe that when the money stops, now is I'm bitter, I'm angry. Now you wait all of these years to come out with these stories and like just ruin this man's life. That makes no sense to me. So and sometimes I feel like these celebrities be in situations and they get victimized for the money.
Look, that's part of the job of being a celebrity. They want to be famous. They knew the job was dangerous when they took it. I don't feel bad for them motherfuckers at all. But when it comes to R. Kelly, you said getting on stage. So I assumed you meant R. Kelly is providing my child an opportunity
No.
to perform. Okay, wait, slow down. That was my assumption, which is why I answered the way I answered. I'm not going to be at no concert with my 17-year-old child. And if you that type of parent, you are wrong. You're right.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's weird as hell. I'm not even taking a 17-year-old child to that type of concert because I know the type of music that motherfucker makes. So no, that's weird as hell. So all you, hey, listen, hey, new women, all you chummy ones, my child is my friend. Play that game if you want to. That's
Yep.
wrong. We not doing that. That's weird. But no, if R. Kelly so happened to hear a demo and my child was interested in being a fucking recording artist, that man is a musical genius. I would not take away my child's opportunity to work with a legend because I didn't have the wherewithal to properly protect my child. That's weird. No, be on stage, do your thing, get you a I Believe I Can Fly, a Man in the Mirror, a Step in the Name of Love, or a Happy People, and we all about to be about this bitch. We about to go to the stratosphere because I'm not worried about what he gonna do because he gonna be worried about what the fuck I'm gonna do to him. That's
No,
what
I'm
I'm
not talking about in that case. I'm talking about in some of these cases, it was like, oh,
No,
my daughter was at
that's
the
weird.
concert. He called her backstage, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, bruh, no. Come on now. Are you
I
kidding
mean,
me?
look, listen. Think about if the parent is saying R. Kelly called my daughter up on stage, you questionable parents took your daughter to an R. Kelly concert to begin with. So you should probably have child endangerment charges on you, not for what R. Kelly did, but because your ass is trifling.
Exactly. That's my point. And in one case, it was a mother and a father. I mean, what
Hey,
the fuck
trifling.
father does that?
Trifling. This is what
Y'all
it is.
knew what y'all was doing. Y'all
Trifling.
seen that as an opportunity to come up.
But listen, I ain't judging. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. To each his own.
When I look about a child being, again, it's not consensual. Rather, even if the parent did it, because that happens a lot, where parents selling their children. The parent, both parties should be prosecuted, not just the person who performed the sexual act, but as a parent, if you sold your child to an adult, I don't care if you a boy sold to a woman or a girl sold to a man.
I
Yeah,
ain't going down
that's
that
where
road.
trafficking. That's where
I'm staying
trafficking
on
comes
Leela's
involved.
topic.
Yeah.
I'm staying on the statute of limitations. I'm back. Statute of limitations. I'm not. No. Federal 5 years. Extended to the age of 30 if the shit happened when the kid was under fucking 16 years old. So you got from age 15. That's the cutoff. If you're 16, you got 5 years.
But
So,
that's how all of those other topics came up. Because if it's a
yeah,
case where I was 15,
listen, you're going down the rabbit hole. Stay on Leela's topic.
it's the same thing. Why? If you feel
It's
like
not the
if
same
it's a
thing,
child
Shell.
under the age of
Shell,
16,
it's not the same thing. We're talking about R. Kelly and bitches being on stage with R. Kelly.
no, forget about R. Kelly. If I was 15 and I was fucking with a 25-year-old man, and then at 25, I decide he did something, I seen him and he ain't know me. Now I'm pissed because I feel some type of way.
Then he runs that
And
risk.
then I
he
filed
should have waited.
charges on him.
He should have waited for your ass to turn 16.
I don't know. That's a fine line between that.
There's no
So
fine line. There has to be a definitive cutoff somewhere.
So in
So
the
I'm saying my definitive cutoff is 15 years old. The day you turn 16, you have 5 years. If you're 15 and dude is 25, he knows if he would have waited a year to knock it the fuck down, he'd have been straight. He also knows when he waits that year, you got 5 years to feel some type of way, and then you can run amok. But
what if the girl lied about her age?
Oh, we're not gonna play that. I've had women lie about their ages, and I'm on some
now
whole
what
other shit.
We ain't even gonna say the girl. What if the child lie about their age, boy or girl?
Listen, number one, if you that hard up for pussy, you can't wait till you find out a motherfucker's actual age. You got a problem. You got other problems in your life. That's
how
number
you
one.
find out somebody's actual age without asking to see their ID?
Ask to see their motherfucking ID.
I've done it. I've done that.
So if a man asks me to see my ID right now, how you think I'm gonna feel?
I don't give a fuck how you feel because I'm not going to jail behind you looking young. How about that shit?
I'm not showing you my ID. I'm not showing you all my information.
Listen to what we're saying, Shell. If I want to fuck you and you look young and I ask you for ID and you say no, fuck you. Because I'm not going to jail behind you actually being young.
Yep.
You can call it whatever you want to call it. You're just a missed opportunity, but it's also an opportunity for me to keep my ass out of jail. Men make that decision. I don't give a fuck if you offended or not. That's irrelevant to me. If you look young and I say, I don't want to see some ID. What was your favorite cartoon growing up? You tell me some shit like SpongeBob, bitch, you too goddamn young. The fuck? There's ways to do this.
Right.
We're not finna sit here and act like the shit is equal across the board. Like, no, that's not the case. Take the time. Number one, as I first stated, if you are the type of motherfucker where you have to immediately get some pussy from this broad and you can't figure out or determine her age, you probably have bigger problems in life, because that means you're out here prowling and you ain't already getting some already. That's why you hard up about to make a bad decision. If you're getting pussy on a regular basis or you fucking some quality pussy, you're not going to be upset if you miss one, period. You step to the plate, the pitcher throws pitches, you hit a couple foul balls, you fucking swing and a miss. I'm still at the plate. I'm going to knock one of these out of the park. You talking about you just wild swinging and the pitcher ain't throwing no balls. That's crazy. That's weird as hell. I'm not doing that. That's weird as fuck. Bitch, how old are you? I'm this age. I don't believe you. Show me your ID. I don't have no ID because your mama ain't old. You ain't old enough to have a fucking ID. That's why you won't show me your ID. Get the fuck out of my face. Fuck out of here. Go babysit somebody's fucking kids. Fuck. I'm a grown ass man. I don't give a fuck if you offended about me asking about some goddamn ID. And if a grown ass woman doesn't understand that, she's even the grown woman that don't deserve to be with that type of dude. Because you should be happy that the dude you with is carding bitches, so it don't come back and blow your house down. That's fucking crazy. Fuck no. Man, show me your fucking ID. You know what I mean, motherfuckers be in the club and think that just because you in the club, this bitch is old enough to be here, but this bitch that got a wristband from her homegirl and you about to go somewhere with this hoe, she's 17, fucking 16 years old, hanging out with the older homies. Bitch, show me some motherfucking ID.
Who's the predator now?
Right? Like, man, you crazy as hell. Like, the fuck that. I don't want to see some fucking ID. Matter of fact, you walk funny in them shoes. Your knees look weak. Don't look like you've been in heels enough in your life. Get the fuck out of here. Hell no.
Well, I look like that when I put on heels, and I'm 40, so I'm damn near 40.
I'm carding everybody. Period. Matter of fact, if you want to have a conversation, sometimes I won't have a conversation with younger people because I don't trust them to be able to dialogue with me. So I'll even ask you about your age in general conversation. It doesn't have to be because I want to fuck you. I don't have shit to talk about with your young ass. I got fucking kids older than you. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy. Mookie, are you prepared to card the bitch so you don't go to jail?
That's not even a real question.
Vinny, are you prepared to card the bitch so you don't go to jail?
Yes.
I co-sign with Mookie.
I'm like, nigga, I'm not going to jail behind no bitch.
Never. Look, man, the time I spent as a radio DJ, there would be 13, 14, 15-year-old girls trying to get me to hang out with them because I was a radio DJ. I wasn't shit. I made $12,000 a year. But, well, it was also 15 years ago. But at the same time, they thought that I was the cool guy from the radio station and maybe I can get him to make out with me and blah, blah, blah. You would not believe I would card everyone. And that was 15 years ago. Actually, no, it was almost 20 years ago.
You gotta do that shit. You gotta do that shit now more than anything.
Yep.
Because these hoes is out here looking. I'm like, bitch, how old are you? 13? You get your monkey ass out from over here.
Anyway, Leela, do you have more on your specific topic?
No, I think I'm okay because then we'll go into another 40 minutes.
Okay. Mookie, you got 1 minute to get us the fuck out of here.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Hey, thank you for joining the No Filter Podcast. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the video. We'll be back Wednesday. That will be the season finale. So we'll be back Wednesday.
A key that opens many locks is a master key. A lock that opens to many keys is a piece of shit lock.
I don't know, I kind of thought it was gonna end right there.
No.
You know what? I kind of hoped it did because, but
No,
he didn't say the pissing thing. Got to do the pissing thing.
I knew he
No,
was
I've already explained to everybody that they pissed on themselves and they lying in the muckety muck.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that. He was like, hey, it's too
That's
late
facts.
now. They've all pissed on themselves.
Well,
I'm cool with it.
where you standing, D?
On Mount Patriarchy, rubbing my knees,
No.
Oh
What are you
my
doing to your
Lord.
knee?
massaging my knee.